Chris may be having some success tonight, but at Elimination Chamber, nothing he does will be able to keep me from destroying him. Kofi's got Jericho on the ropes. Maybe Chris is allergic to winning.
He's going to need to dig down to get the win tonight, that's for sure.
Kofi's proven to be a great United States champion week in and week out, and he's doing the same tonight.
Kofi's finding ways to solve the Jericho puzzle, but Chris isn't exactly expert Sudoku.
Ray, what does Toto Americano mean exactly?
I'd tell you, King, but I think that would ruin whatever kind of game he thinks he's playing.
Two of Raw's elite superstars are squaring off in tonight's main event.
As unbreakable as Undertaker's streak seems, maybe one of these two could snap it. This match isn't about championships or a grudge. It's about pride.
HBK doesn't have anything to prove, but his opponent does, to himself and to Stephanie McMahon.
Triple H got his shot at Undertaker back at WrestleMania 17.
What a war that was, King. I had no idea this match was going to happen. King, did you?
No way, Michael. Talk about a throwback. I never expected to see Jake the Snake in a WWE ring again. I'm still in shock.
And he looks great. Is Jake showing a little ring rust here?
Rust? I'm surprised his engine's even running.
Remember WrestleMania 8 when Jake took on The Undertaker?
Before that match, the Dead Man was 1-0 at WrestleMania.
The Snake is sent reeling. How much more can he take?
I don't know how he could have lasted this long, but he still looks dangerous. This match came out of nowhere.
Apparently, these two had an altercation backstage at Raw, spawning this tables match.
You'd think he had enough to worry about without ticking off Big Show.
When it rains, it pours. Triple H is rolling now.
I wonder if he was disappointed Randy Orton didn't win last week's match, so the game could be punishing him.
How could you even get Big Show up to put him through a table?
I don't know. A crane?
Big Show has been so dominant lately.
He's the largest athlete in the world. When he's motivated, nothing can stop him. He looks particularly motivated tonight.
Does he have Big Show's number?
Maybe that handicap match win a few weeks ago wasn't a fluke after all. I'm confused, Michael. When we determine Raw's winner, then what?
From my understanding, he'll compete against the winners from ECW and SmackDown.
It's Kane!
But not the Kane we're used to, King. It's like he stepped out of a time capsule.
It's like he stepped out of an evil time capsule.
I still can't believe Kane. He's the same monster who terrorized WrestleMania 14. I still can't believe Kane. He's the same monster who terrorized WrestleMania 14.
Was that before or after he chokeslammed Pete Rose, Michael?
He's causing some damage to this historic Kane.
It's like he's not even the same person. Monster.
Kane is just so dangerous.
He's the only one brave enough to challenge Undertaker at 2 WrestleManias. Kane could sure use some help from his dad right now.
But if you remember, King, Undertaker encased Paul Bearer in cement over 5 years ago. He's absorbing a lot of punishment there.
True, but that's nothing compared to what awaits Undertaker's opponent at WrestleMania. I've never been so excited for a match in all my life.
The buildup on this match has been huge. The unbeaten Phenom versus the unshakable adversary.
He had to know Undertaker was going to bring the fight tonight.
There's a difference between preparing for Undertaker and having him use you as a punching bag. The challenger has no quit in him. He wants this and is willing to pay the price.
But for literally everyone else who's been in this spot before, it was in vain. That's what built this legend.
Oh, my goodness. Undertaker is absolutely brutal.
It's like he gets even more powerful at WrestleMania, Michael. I don't know that anyone in the world could beat him.
This is unprecedented. Look at the damage Undertaker is sustaining.
But how long can he continue that onslaught? It's like he's fighting for his life.
But who are these disciples of The Undertaker? Chris Jericho looks to redeem himself tonight after another loss to Triple H this past Sunday.
With the mood Jericho's in tonight, I'm just glad it's Santino in the ring with him and not me.
Last night, the WWE Universe witnessed a grueling WWE Championship match. But once again, Triple H came out on top, sending the challenger Jericho packing.
Jericho protested the decision, and it had some merit. But the fact is, Triple H had his hand raised in victory.
Jericho wearing Santino down now.
I don't think Jericho even cares who he's taking on, Michael. He's just hungry for a victory.
This is not the type of showing Jericho was hoping for after that loss.
I agree. This isn't going to boost his confidence at all. Say what you will about Chris Jericho, but you can't deny his conditioning. Many men can't even stand after a match against Triple H.
I think we're witnessing a change in Jericho tonight, King. He's determined to break his losing streak, whatever the cost. This should be an excellent match, as the former WWE champion and the current United States champion butt heads.
And to make it even better, we're joined by current WWE champion, The Game, Triple H.
This may be a non-title match, but Jericho doesn't appear to be holding anything back.
Kofi's proven to be a great United States champion week in and week out, and he's doing the same tonight. Jericho is picking apart Kingston now.
He's going to need to dig down to get the win tonight, that's for sure. And this is our main event, a huge tag team match with upcoming Royal Rumble opponents.
There's a lot of bad blood between these two teams, a lot of unfinished business. This one isn't going to be pretty.
And as was confirmed earlier tonight, Chris Jericho will be taking on Kofi Kingston for the United States Championship at the Royal Rumble.
That's going to be one heck of a matchup, Michael. After what happened last week, I can't wait.
The largest athlete in the world is starting to feel those shots.
Punishing Big Show is almost more tiring to the Punisher.
Kofi's high-flying style could be grounded by this damage he's receiving.
At Royal Rumble, he's not going to have anyone to tag out to. Triple H meets Big Show in less than a week.
It's smart on the part of the Big Show and Jericho to try to wear down the game. And with the sound of that bell, the matchup is underway. Chris Jericho is not only fighting for the United States Championship, but his very career.
What did he expect Stephanie McMahon was going to do? He put her in a tough spot as GM, so she put him in a tougher one.
You've got to imagine that as this match wears on, Jericho's going to be looking for an early finish. His WWE career is on the line.
I think you're right, Michael. If there's a shortcut he can take, you can guarantee Jericho will take it. The stakes couldn't be any higher.
Despite Big Show's appearance, Jericho has put a serious hurting on Kofi.
I'm sure Stephanie McMahon was smiling big when the Big Show made his grand entrance.
After being cost his shot at the WWE Championship, Big Show finally gets his chance for revenge against Chris Jericho.
As good as Jericho is, and as devious as he's been, I almost feel sorry for him tonight.
We should probably remind everyone that this is a non-title match.
Like Big Show said earlier, this isn't about championships, it's about revenge.
Big Show is laying in the punishment, and he really seems to be enjoying it.
You know what they say, Michael? Work is a lot easier if you like what you do.
Jericho wasn't going to just lay down and let Big Show dominate him.
There's a reason he's been a multi-time world champion, Michael. Jericho's getting away.
Not if the game can help it. He's now in pursuit. Triple H caught him. The next two gladiators step up to see who takes on the devil himself.
If you ask me, the prize for winning this tournament is more like a punishment.
Jericho's cornered now.
I can only imagine the game is getting more furious by the second.
We have a great and spontaneous main event here, but the blind rage of Triple H is palpable.
Jericho had better watch his back, but when you're taking on HBK, it's tough to do any good even when he's got your full attention.
As we start the match, Mr. McMahon made specifically for Chris Jericho, we are joined by Triple H.
I've got my championship back. But if Jericho thinks all is forgiven, he's more ridiculous than his haircut.
How do you feel about having to defend your title against Jericho at Elimination Chamber?
Triple H, do you think maybe this whole thing was a ploy by Jericho?
Batista is one of the toughest superstars in WWE history. How can Jericho hope to beat him after already fighting two top superstars? Finally, it's our main event for the WWE Championship.
I was surprised when I found out tonight it would be an Elimination Chamber match, but I can only imagine how shocked Jericho was. Jericho has already taken some damage, but it's going to be a long night if he hopes to emerge with the WWE Championship.
I don't know how Jericho can hope to win this match. Just 24 hours removed from the carnage at Elimination Chamber. It's the singles match we've been waiting for.
I'm sure Triple H has been thinking of nothing but this match in the last 24 hours. He looks more determined than ever before.
I want to remind our fans that in order for the title to change hands, Triple H must beat Jericho by pinfall or submission.
That's a tall order against someone as crafty as Chris Jericho. Triple H is a man possessed in there.
He wants to make Jericho's championship reign a one-night bad dream.
If I was Jericho, I'd be thinking about Plan B.
Well, Jericho always seems to have a Plan B. Chris Jericho is out here. Why?
He nails Big Show. Is this the loser's bracket, Michael?
He's going to need to shake the cobwebs if he wants to win this match. This should be a very emotional match for better or worse.
The friendship between Michaels and the Game is legendary, Cole. And Michaels is out for revenge tonight.
Though we say he only suffered severe facial lacerations last week, honestly, I think Triple H is fortunate his condition isn't worse.
You're right, Cole. Jericho was absolutely ruthless last week. He could have scarred Triple H for life.
Shawn Michaels, full of fire, is extracting some pain out of Jericho.
He has this coming, Michael. Sometimes when you play with fire, you're going to get burned.
Even though he's only held the title for 3 weeks, I think it's safe to say Jericho's already made an impression as the WWE Champion.
I have it on good authority. Jericho's championship may be in jeopardy sooner than later.
Jericho getting the best of HBK right now.
You hate to say it, but Jericho's unbelievably talented.
He's determined not to lose 2 weeks in a row.
This may not be for any tournament, Michael, but it's still a matter of pride.
What a night we've had, King. And this is our finale. Jericho versus Triple H for the WWE Championship.
And after everything we've seen in recent weeks, I'm glad this match is Hell in a Cell. I'm not sure any other type of match could contain the fury of these two.
Jericho still has to be feeling the effects from the pedigree he received on the hood of his own car.
Triple H probably isn't fully recovered from his Geritron 5000 injury, but I don't think aches and pains are going to stop either of these men.
Triple H is no stranger to Hell in a Cell.
If there's a ring involved, the game knows his way around it. But the cell is enough to intimidate anyone.
Jericho is going to need that same resilience that got him the WWE Championship in the first place.
Whether you like his means or not, he's proven he has the heart of a champion. But I don't know if that'll be enough to prevail tonight. In his heart, I'm sure Triple H still feels like the rightful WWE champion.
This is his chance to prove it to the world. The title is his to win. 2 of Canada's finest WWE superstars are participating in a special challenge tonight.
ECW champion Christian has graciously offered 3 minutes of his time to the up-and-coming Tyson Kidd.
The Miz is looking fierce.
I hear he had a few unkind words for his opponent earlier today in the back.
Wasn't it a little arrogant for Christian to say he would only need 3 minutes to beat Tyson?
People as successful as Christian aren't arrogant. They're confident. Big difference. Tyson Kidd is showing some life in this matchup.
He's been in the WWE long enough to impress everyone with his ability. He's a breakout star in the making. I never get tired of seeing these two square off. And the ECW Championship being on the line makes it even more intriguing.
Not to mention the potential for chaos, with it being Extreme Rules.
Regal seemed really motivated tonight, interrupting Christian's interview time.
You don't get what you want in life by simply watching from the sidelines. I admire his moxie.
Why do you think Regal has struggled against Christian?
Regal relies on intensity and guile in the ring. Those are 2 qualities Christian also shares. Regal may need to mix things up. I don't think The Miz is feeling very awesome after that shot.
He's going to need to shake the cobwebs if he wants to win this match. Christian seems to have momentum in his favor.
But being under Extreme Rules, momentum can shift in a heartbeat. Perhaps tonight is finally William Regal's night.
Regal has the champion reeling. Christian's time in ECW is coming to a very surprising end.
ECW is going to miss Christian, but he better not take his focus off the task at hand.
Battle Royals are always a tumultuous affair.
And it looks like one ECW superstar will be leaving the affair soon.
It looks like everyone is gunning for the ECW champion.
This might be a battle royal, but Christian's status has made him a target.
How much longer can these superstars last?
I don't know, Michael, but I see one that looks like he won't last another minute.
Miz with some big offense right there.
The thing about The Miz is, as much as people may hate him, you have to respect his ability. Drives me nuts, personally. Christian has been taking a beating in this battle royal.
Going into the Royal Rumble, that's not good news for the ECW champion. Here it is, the last ECW match for its illustrious champion, Christian.
I'm going to miss that guy. I especially liked it when he used to make fun of you after shows.
I wonder what prompted Theodore Long to make a deal for Christian seemingly out of the blue.
The WWE Universe has had all eyes on Christian during his title reign. I'm not surprised Teddy did what he did. Let's say Christian wins this match. What's going to happen to the ECW Championship?
I assume he puts it in his suitcase and takes it to SmackDown with him next Friday.
Oh, it's nice to see Christian back on SmackDown. I'm sure he'll jazz things up around here.
King, I take it you're one of his peeps. SmackDown fans are getting a taste of what Christian can do.
Christian got a taste of what Ziggler can do at Royal Rumble when Dolph interfered in Christian's match.
Dolph Ziggler seems to have a vendetta against Christian already.
And he's definitely giving Captain Charisma a run for his money. Dolph Ziggler is presently getting the short end of the stick.
Will Christian carry his reign of dominance over to SmackDown?
Dolph Ziggler's got a mean streak, and he's showing it here.
I don't think Christian is going to forget his opponent's name anytime soon.
Edge and Christian with a throwback to their old entrance.
Is that a sign they're on the same page?
If they are, the champions have reason to be worried. It's amazing to see the team of Edge and Christian firing on all cylinders again.
They are indeed one of the legendary tag teams in WWE history.
Orton's starting to feel the abuse he's taken so far.
But we all know the Viper can strike from out of nowhere with an RKO. Truth and Consequences haven't been together for that long, but their chemistry is undeniable.
Their styles complement each other wonderfully. That's why they've been so successful.
Do you think if they win, Edge and Christian might celebrate with kazoos?
Kazoos? Christian may be best served tagging out.
I think he's trying to prove something, reuniting with his championship-laden partner. This may be the biggest tag team match I can ever remember on SmackDown.
The Brothers of Destruction versus Edge and Christian? Talk about a dream match.
So the whole thing with Edge being cold to Christian was some weird setup?
It appears so. The wackiness never ends when these two get together.
These four squaring off in the same ring is incredible.
As the great Gorilla Monsoon used to say, this would be a main event in any arena in the country. Things are going so well for Edge and Christian that they just might pose.
How many seconds do they do that for again?
The Brothers of Destruction are so big, so powerful.
And they're not really into clowning around.
That's an understatement.
These three men have made it to the top of the heap.
Not quite the top, Michael. That spot is reserved for the dead man. Jericho, the top contender for Edge's World Heavyweight Championship, is taking on Edge's newly reunited partner, Christian.
This should be one heck of a main event. I'm not really sure the significance of Edge being at ringside.
Well, aside from comic relief with that cowboy hat, he's probably scouting his Elimination Chamber opponent.
I wonder where Jericho's partner, Big Show, is.
Chris Jericho is holding his own so far in this matchup. Maybe he told Big Show not to bother. We've got Money in the Bank early this year.
Any one of these six competitors could make a real impact if they can grab that elusive briefcase. Raw's qualifier is taking a beating.
Shouldn't he have home court advantage? What's going on?
Christian has been doing well, making a name for himself on this new brand.
An instant shot at the gold certainly would help establish him even further.
Evan Bourne is taking a beating here.
As the smallest man in this match, he needs to take more risks to wear down his opponents.
Can you imagine Big Show holding the Money in the Bank contract?
I'm having a hard enough time picturing him at the top of the ladder. I wonder how William Regal feels being back in the ring with his former rival, Christian.
That all depends on whether he ends up winning this match. CM Punk has made a career out of Money in the Bank ladder matches.
I'm not sure if he'll be able to repeat a success story yet again. Young David Hart is absorbing some damage.
He's got youth and strength, but winning Money in the Bank is as much about luck and strategy.
What a tag match we have here, folks.
Edge and Christian are on top of the world, and Cody and Ted want to knock them off their pedestals. ECW's Kozlov may be the one to get pinned here.
I wouldn't be so sure, Michael. That guy can absorb a superhuman amount of punishment.
This match features three of the best all-around competitors on the SmackDown brand.
I agree completely. This one has instant classic written all over it.
King, would you yet consider John Morrison a breakout star?
If he hasn't gone through that door yet, at the very least, he's knocking on it very loudly.
I hope Edge and Christian have patched up their differences.
They've been friends for a long time, but this isn't their first quarrel, that's for sure. Jericho sure worked hard to get to this point, but it may have been in vain.
He might be sent back to SmackDown with his tail between his legs.
Things have blown up here.
And it puts Edge and Christian on the same team, whether they like it or not. Truth and Consequences interrupted what seemed like a productive conversation.
Much as I hate to say it, WWE is far from couples therapy.
Edge takes a big shot.
He's the top of the SmackDown mountain, Michael. He's got to expect a target on his back. I don't think Christian expected this when he started the Peep Show tonight.
He may have prepared for a fight, but not against these two. The Viper, Randy Orton, is set to take on the man who holds all the cards for WrestleMania, Christian.
And we're joined by a very interested party in Christian's exploits, the rated R superstar, Edge.
Hey guys, you're happy to have me here.
Now, Edge, you've held gold with both of these men. How do they compare?
Orton may have a length advantage, but Christian definitely has one up on him in the awesomeness category. Otherwise, they're pretty evenly matched.
Well, Edge, what do you think Christian will do with his Money in the Bank briefcase?
Since you asked, I think he's going to make the right decision.
Sounds like you have no idea, Edge. Which was the better tag team, Edge and Christian or rated RKO?
That's a trick question, King. I was in both of them, so they're both off the charts in terms of quality.
This is it, King. The match everyone has been waiting for.
It's high drama for sure. Best friends competing for the biggest prize in an incredibly dangerous match.
Can you imagine how Edge must have felt when he heard Christian was cashing in Money in the Bank against him?
I'd wager he felt pretty low, Michael. I'm sure he feels betrayed to an extent.
These two have been friends since they were kids. Now they're battling at WrestleMania.
But only one will leave with the World Heavyweight Championship.
Edge has been in so many important title matches over the years.
But it looks like he's being tested like never before, Michael.
Edge isn't holding anything back against his best friend.
I guess that's why they say be careful what you wish for. Christian literally asked for this.
It doesn't get any bigger than this, folks. The main event at WrestleMania.
Christian chose the grandest stage of all to cash in his Money in the Bank opportunity, and against Mr. WrestleMania himself.
I'm sure Christian put a lot of thought into his Money in the Bank decision.
Imagine if he and Edge are both holding gold at the end of the night. Oh, I hope I'm invited to that party.
Christian and Shawn don't have much history, but that's not stopping them for a second.
Shawn never gives less than his best, and Captain Charisma is so motivated to make the most of this shot.
Shawn is getting overwhelmed a little here.
He's down, but never out. Shawn always has some jet fuel in his reserves.
HBK might be beating Christian at his own game.
Shawn may not have founded the TLC match, but he's no stranger to tables, ladders, or chairs.
I can't believe Christian cashed in his Money in the Bank opportunity against his best friend. Edge still seems to be in a state of shock, King.
I don't think he was expecting his best friend to go for his World Heavyweight Championship.
These two know each other so well, it'll be hard for one to get the advantage.
It's like fighting a mirror image of yourself.
Edge has to be furious after hearing of Christian's betrayal.
Betrayal is a rather harsh word, don't you think? WWE superstars are here to win championships.
Why do you think Christian chose to challenge Edge?
He seems to have really embraced SmackDown since arriving here. Perhaps he didn't want to move to Raw if he won.
Edge seems to be getting more aggressive as this match goes on.
He needs to be. After all, his World Heavyweight Championship is on the line.
This is an extraordinarily rare event tonight, King. Champion against champion.
Two of the finest the WWE has ever seen locking up right here on SmackDown.
Christian is making his first appearance as World Heavyweight Champion.
And what a first assignment, going against HBK in our main event.
Do you think Christian has a home court advantage with this match being on SmackDown?
Michaels receives a hero's welcome wherever he goes. Well, with the exception of Canada, maybe. Christian is really taking it to HBK now.
As a new champion, perhaps he thinks he has something to prove. Christian has been softened up. Do you think he might hear the band tuning up soon?
If we do, it'll likely be a lullaby for Christian.
So we begin this non-title contest between two of SmackDown's elite.
It'll be the athletic skills of R-Truth against the technical mastery of Christian.
R-Truth and his partner caused some static for Christian and Edge a few weeks back.
I'm sure Christian remembers that, and I'm sure he'll dish out some consequences.
R-Truth is a tough superstar to pin down. He's in constant motion.
You really have to pick your shots with him, but it's like trying to fight a tornado.
Do you think Edge is watching this match closely?
I'm sure he is. He has perhaps the most important match of his career in 2 days.
I hope Christian didn't take his opponent lightly.
It's hard not to, with the most important match of his career 2 days away.
This is it, King. The match everyone has been waiting for.
It's high drama for sure. Best friends competing for the biggest prize in an incredibly dangerous match.
Christian has been so impressive since becoming World Heavyweight Champion.
He sure has, but I'd never, ever count out the ultimate opportunist.
Not so long ago, Edge was champion and Christian was challenger.
And the rated R superstar has vowed to turn back the hands of time tonight.
WrestleMania can be intimidating to some, but Christian is staying so focused.
Christian is definitely performing like a champion so far, but he's got to climb that ladder. What a title match this is turning out to be.
No matter which man wins, I don't think either one will be the same after this WrestleMania main event. A big move right there from Randy Orton.
You have to give Randy credit. Not too many people have tangled with the dead man and are anxious to do it again.
And here we go with our main event.
If Christian thinks Shawn Michaels is going to let him come to Raw and take the title, he's in for a rude awakening.
Christian chose the WWE Championship shot against HBK over Edge's World Heavyweight Championship.
I can't blame him. After all, nobody wants to have to challenge their best friend.
HBK has been such a proud WWE Champion.
He's taken on all worthy challengers, and with Raw's stacked roster, that's a lot of folks.
Christian's come such a long way since his early days in WWE.
If he captures the WWE Championship tonight, he'll have gone that much further. The Heartbreak Kid is showing the heart of a champion.
I'm not sure Captain Charisma can weather this storm. DX versus Edge and Christian. What an amazing main event.
There's been a lot of gold held by these four men, and I think some bad blood is boiling too.
You got to think that HBK wants a rematch for the WWE title.
I'm fairly certain I know where Mr. WrestleMania will get it too.
Both of these teams are just so popular and so successful.
They're also both very funny normally, but they seem very serious in the ring right now.
D-Generation X may have met their match.
And the crowd here in San Francisco can smell the reek of awesomeness already. HBK and Triple H. Teams just don't get any more iconic than that.
If they keep this up, they'll add another team to their long, illustrious resume of victories.
It doesn't get any bigger than this, folks. The main event at WrestleMania.
Mr. WrestleMania is looking to get his WWE Championship back, while Captain Charisma has barely gotten used to having it around his waist. Though they've only squared off a few times previously, the tension between these two is overwhelming.
The WWE Championship hangs in the balance. There's nothing these guys won't do to grab that title.
We're underway. Both of these superstars know what's on the line tonight, and both of them would love to take the WWE Championship away from Orton.
I think Orton is hoping they'll finish each other off. Cena has been #1 contender more times than I can count.
I'm not sure if that's a plus or a minus as he battles a very determined MVP. MVP has definitely turned into a big-time player on Raw.
And MVP knows that John Cena is the standard by which all others are judged here in WWE.
Cena is kicking it into his famous fifth gear.
I never cease to be amazed at how much energy and power Cena possesses.
MVP is on a roll here. He can almost taste that title opportunity against Randy Orton at the Royal Rumble.
MVP is on the verge of a victory that could change his career. These three all wanted a piece of Undertaker. Now they get their chance.
I don't think this was quite the capacity they were hoping, though, King. I don't know if one ring can handle all this animosity.
Even the popcorn vendor is heading for the hills. He wants no part of this collision.
The numbers game doesn't look good for Cena and MVP.
Odds have never meant anything to John Cena, Michael. You know that.
He's taking a beating.
It's a good thing he has two partners to tag out to, provided he can reach Legacy's corner.
Here's a throwback. John Cena taking on The Miz.
I remember back when Miz claimed to beat Cena about 6 times in a row just because he made challenges that Cena didn't answer. Well, he's answering tonight.
Miz has come a long way in the last year or so, don't you think, King?
His progress has been astounding. He's gone from being a guy who was all talk to being someone who can really get it done in the ring.
Cena is certainly looking toward the Rumble, but he's looking focused in there tonight.
When you have Orton after you, it pays to sleep with one eye open. And Miz is crafty. He can make Cena pay if he gets distracted.
Consider this a tune-up match for the Royal Rumble, where the 3 finalists will compete.
Yeah, in a ladder match. Each of these superstars must really want a shot at history.
The Miz is reeling now.
Cena's riding the crowd's energy, Michael. He knows how to finish off opponents.
You just never get over the size of Big Show, do you, King? John Cena is a brave man.
Yeah. Can you believe he chose to take on this monster? He could have had Dolph Ziggler or The Miz. Nobody can ever accuse Cena of walking the easy path.
How do you think the Big Show feels about John Cena being the #1 contender?
I don't think Big Show puts anyone above himself. And since he's the world's largest athlete, it's tough to argue the point.
Big Show always presents some tough matchup issues for Cena.
Big Show's size really makes opponents rethink their approach. Can Cena lift him for the attitude adjustment? Can he lock him in the STF?
Cena may be ahead on points here, King.
Points? The only numbers that matter here are 1, 2, 3.
John Cena is taking on Dolph Ziggler, the opponent he handpicked tonight. Did he make the right choice, King?
He may not be 7 feet tall, but Ziggler is no pushover. Cena'd better bring everything he's got if he hopes to leave Roanoke with a win.
How does Ziggler match up with Cena, King?
He's got a lot of speed and is very technically sound. Some might think Dolph is too arrogant, but that confidence can help him against a guy like John Cena.
I think it's safe to say everyone in the WWE Universe knows Dolph Ziggler's name.
Ever since his first televised match against Batista, he's been nothing short of impressive. Whether he's on Cena's level or not, we'll soon find out.
That shot seemed to daze Undertaker.
Maybe, but this isn't a singles match, and it's definitely not WrestleMania.
John Cena is rolling now against Ziggler.
I'm sure he'd love to carry this momentum into the Royal Rumble.
One day after being stripped of his title shot, John Cena is back in the ring on Raw.
A mixed tag wasn't exactly where we thought we'd end up tonight, Michael.
Raw and SmackDown have come together to wear down the Big Russian.
It'd take both of them to bring down Kozlov, and he's got Undertaker in his corner. Dolph Ziggler's getting decimated by Cena.
John didn't get it to take out his aggression on Randy Orton, so I think Ziggler's getting the runoff.
These two divas are going at it tooth and nail.
Both are very accomplished in WWE, and each wants to exert her dominance. Two of Raw's biggest stars are here at SmackDown to take on the reigning tag team champions, Truth and Consequences.
This is going to be a non-title matchup, but if Cena and MVP can win here tonight, that'll send a huge message to all of SmackDown.
Truth and Consequences have really been running roughshod over the competition, but they haven't taken on a team of this ability level.
John Cena and MVP are both high-caliber singles competitors, but they don't have much experience as a team. Still, they're doing well so far. Oh, the champions are in big trouble here. If he can't make the tag soon, Cena and MVP may get the win over the champs.
What an impact that would make, King. Less than a week after winning the Royal Rumble, you can't blame MVP for being less than 100%.
True, but you can blame him for not tagging out to John Cena, who's eagerly waiting in the corner. Jericho may want to think about tagging out after absorbing that punishment.
Chris Jericho's not exactly a team player, but maybe that shot will get him to change his mind. One of the new Raw general managers, Randy Orton's first actions was making this match.
He's wasting no time trying to remove his rivals. Going against Kozlov and Ezekiel is bad enough, but an elimination tables match? These three all wanted a piece of Undertaker. Now they get their chance.
I don't think this was quite the capacity they were hoping, though, King. Truth and Consequences are putting their titles on the line here against these two powerhouses.
Cena and MVP beat him a few weeks ago, but they have to be fatigued after that nasty, destructive tables match that they just had on Raw.
Cena has so much going against him lately. What with Randy Orton becoming Raw's GM.
Innocent men don't normally get dragged to jail, Michael. I think some of Cena's grief has been self-imposed.
MVP won the Royal Rumble, and now he may win Tag Team Gold.
Not if he keeps taking a beating like that, Michael.
John Cena and the world's strongest man, Mark Henry, square off in our main event.
Mark Henry and MVP were a team for some time, and Henry doesn't look too happy about what Cena said about his friend.
That video footage Randy showed looked pretty fishy to me, King.
Well, even if you're right, I doubt anyone's going to be able to convince the world's strongest man of that before he tries to tear John Cena to pieces.
Consider this a tune-up match for the Royal Rumble, where the three finalists will compete.
Yeah, in a ladder match. Each of these superstars must really want a shot at history.
The world's strongest man is always dangerous, but tonight he's extra motivated.
I'm sure if someone insulted me, you'd be ready to fight for my honor too, Michael.
Cena and MVP have formed quite a friendship over the last few weeks, and I wonder if Orton has destroyed that tonight.
If not tonight, then it'll definitely end at Elimination Chamber.
Cena's back is against the wall, but that's where he's most dangerous.
Mark Henry may be the world's strongest man, but Cena's no slouch in the power department either.
The bell is rung, and these two former partners are set to go to war.
In this match, you have to beat your opponent so badly, they can't answer the referee's 10 count. Talk about brutal.
Somewhere, GM Randy Orton is watching this and laughing.
I doubt it, Michael. He's got to compete in the Elimination Chamber tonight. He's got his hands full.
I'm sure just 6 days ago, neither of these two would have guessed they'd be in a match like this against each other.
MVP was just welcoming Cena to the VIP lounge, and now Cena's welcoming MVP to some pain.
Orton's reeling right there. Could this first-round matchup be over?
You know better than to count out Randy Orton, Michael.
That shot seemed to daze Undertaker.
Maybe, but this isn't a singles match, and it's definitely not WrestleMania.
Randy Orton has inserted himself in the middle of this match, much like the way he's driven a wedge between Cena and MVP over the past few weeks. There's got to be something up his sleeve, but what?
I think there's more than just one thing, Michael, and I'm not talking about his arm.
John Cena is put in another strange matchup, under decree from GM Randy Orton. A no disqualification match.
I don't know, Michael. Cena's already shown us that he's pretty good with a steel chair. His friend, MVP's forehead, could testify to that.
John Cena finds himself in another tough match tonight by way of Raw General Manager Randy Orton. And we find ourselves joined on commentary by Montel Vontavious Porter. Welcome, MVP.
Thanks, Michael. It's nice to see John Cena without worrying about getting plastered with a chair.
15 feet of steel is a good security blanket.
What do you think, MVP? Has Cena gotten nastier, or is it just a Randy Orton mind game?
Does it matter? Really? John Cena split my cornrows with a chair. Randy Orton put him up to it, but he still did it.
How do you see the WrestleMania match between John Cena and Randy Orton shaping up?
I see many twists and turns before we actually get to WrestleMania.
We know you were entitled to a championship match, which Orton stripped you
I'd
of.
rather talk about the great match we're watching right now.
Rhodes and DiBiase, not long after their controversial title victory, are defending their championships here on Superstars.
Cena's been borderline sadistic lately. Well, you have to be a bit of a sadist to listen to Santino.
Cena and Santino are in firm control of the controversial champions at the moment.
Say what you will, Michael, but Rhodes and DiBiase officially won the championship last week. It's not going to be easy to dethrone them. Jericho may want to think about tagging out after absorbing that punishment.
Chris Jericho's not exactly a team player, but maybe that shot will get him to change his mind.
Maybe Santino should just stick to being a pretend actor.
Pretend? I think 13 rounds, extra innings, has potential to be a summer movie sensation. Cena and MVP, opponents at WrestleMania, are partners in this match.
These two have hatred in their hearts for one another, and now have the odds stacked against them like this.
These rules were rough when it was singles competition, but for tag teams, it's even harder.
Can you imagine getting a 5 count when Sheamus or Big Show can interrupt it? And with no disqualification, the monsters can stay in the ring even when they're not legal.
Cena and MVP are hanging in there against enormous odds.
But they're going to need a 5 count to beat them. Is that even possible?
The match we've all waited to see has finally begun. Orton versus Cena versus MVP.
With Randy's goons outside, Orton has essentially pinned in his challengers. However, they may work together against the champion.
Cena's worked so hard to get to this point, but he's absorbing a lot of damage here.
All his effort won't mean anything if he can't pull off the win here tonight, Michael.
MVP is struggling to compete with these two multi-time world champions.
He's definitely earned the right to be in there, though, and I'm sure he's going to keep fighting with everything in him.
Randy Orton isn't looking very authoritative at this point.
Softening up Randy Orton is one thing, but getting the pin on him, especially in a triple threat, is much harder.
John Cena and Santino are facing two big, angry monsters. Randy Orton sure knows how to make a match.
Randy Orton has hatred in his heart for Cena and has stacked the odds against him like never before. Santino is getting battered around in there like a cat toy.
Santino is giving up a ton of size in there, and it certainly shows. The intra-brand battle royal is underway, and what a star-studded group it is.
Kudos to Raw's general manager Randy Orton for putting this match together.
Rhodes and DiBiase, not long after their controversial title victory, are defending their championships here on Superstars.
Cena's been borderline sadistic lately. Well, you have to be a bit of a sadist to listen to Santino.
Cena and Santino are in firm control of the controversial champions at the moment.
Say what you will, Michael, but Rhodes and DiBiase officially won the championship last week. It's not going to be easy to dethrone them. Maybe Santino should just stick to being a pretend actor.
Pretend? I think 13 rounds, extra innings, has potential to be a summer movie sensation. The match we've all waited to see has finally begun. Orton versus Cena versus MVP.
With Randy's goons outside, Orton has essentially pinned in his challengers. However, they may work together against the champion.
Cena's worked so hard to get to this point, but he's absorbing a lot of damage here.
All his effort won't mean anything if he can't pull off the win here tonight, Michael.
MVP is struggling to compete with these two multi-time world champions.
He's definitely earned the right to be in there, though, and I'm sure he's going to keep fighting with everything in him.
Randy Orton isn't looking very authoritative at this point.
Softening up Randy Orton is one thing, but getting the pin on him, especially in a triple threat, is much harder.
Three of the competitors in this match are finalists to be Undertaker's WrestleMania opponent.
And the other one ruined their match last week. Can you feel the love?
Just 1 week removed from that awful accident, Mysterio is competing on SmackDown.
Not only that, but he's taking on Shelton Benjamin, one of WWE's most athletically gifted superstars.
Having Evan Bourne in his corner is a wise step by Mysterio, though.
I don't know about you, Michael, but has Rey Mysterio seemed a bit, well, off to you so far?
You may be right, King, and I'm sure Benjamin will take advantage any way he can. Rey is getting some offense in against the gold standard.
These are two of the fastest, most agile superstars on SmackDown. It's tough to call a winner.
Honestly, I'm a little surprised SmackDown General Manager Theodore Long let this match go on as scheduled.
Mysterio said he was ready to compete, Michael. Teddy Long took his word for it. What's wrong with that?
Team Raw is wearing down the Big Russian.
But he's still got Jericho in his corner. Man, what a match we have here. Mysterio has some effective offense here.
I wonder if Shelton was taking Rey lightly tonight. He should know better. Just 1 week removed from that awful accident, Mysterio is competing on SmackDown.
Not only that, but he's taking on a championship caliber opponent in John Morrison.
I have no idea what Swagger is doing out here on Rey's behalf, though. That makes zero sense.
I don't know about you, Michael, but has Rey Mysterio seemed a bit, well, off to you so far?
Morrison is good at throwing opponents off their game, but you may be onto something, King. Rey is getting some offense in against the Friday Night Delight.
These are two of the fastest, most agile superstars on SmackDown. It's tough to call a winner.
Honestly, I'm a little surprised SmackDown General Manager Theodore Long let this match go on as scheduled.
Mysterio said he was ready to compete, Michael. Teddy Long took his word for it. What's wrong with that? Mysterio has some effective offense here.
Morrison's on the ropes, which is not a good spot against the master of the 619. Jericho is taking some hits.
That's the thing about tag matches, Michael. There's plenty of pain to go around.
What an intriguing tag match we have right here.
Bourne and Mysterio are lightning fast high flyers, but Truth and Consequences have been a well-oiled machine for a while now.
Mysterio looks like he's shaking all the cobwebs from that accident a few weeks back, King.
Not all injuries show themselves so readily, Michael. Just because Mysterio looks fine doesn't mean he's back to full health. Bourne is a superstar on the rise, both literally and figuratively.
He's going to need to kick it up a gear if he wants to beat these two. Truth and Consequences are falling victim to the quickness of their opponents.
They need to cut off the ring, keep either Bourne or Mysterio from tagging, and then go to work. Swagger has all the tools to be a huge superstar in WWE.
Tools or not, Crime Time is more than holding their own against the All-American American. Checkmate.
Swagger has all the tools to be a huge superstar in WWE.
Tools or not, Crime Time is more than holding their own against the All-American American. Chemistry issues or not, Mysterio and Swagger are taking it to Crime Time.
These two have proved more cohesive than I could have imagined.
Could his hopes of winning this tournament be slipping away?
It's a long road to WrestleMania, Michael, and having Orton as your first roadblock doesn't bode well.
That one rattled him.
He's got the King of Kings in his corner. Maybe you should just get him in the match.
And as this match gets started, one of these three men is just 3 seconds away from earning a place in the Royal Rumble.
Man, just look at the size of Knox. I got to give him the advantage in this one over his smaller opponents.
Once again, this is every man for himself with a place in the Royal Rumble on the line.
And that means the winner is that much closer to championship gold. As we've seen from Knox in the past, he's an unstable, unhinged kind of guy. Basically, he just likes hurting people.
Pain and barbarism are what Mike Knox thrives on. The Royal Rumble is the perfect type of environment for a sadist like him. Rey Mysterio showing signs of fatigue now as the match wears on.
This is his last chance to qualify for the Royal Rumble. He won't let it slip away without a fight.
Here he comes. Entrant number 16 is Rey Mysterio. And if anyone has anything to prove here, it's Rey.
After everything that's happened the past few weeks, people have doubted Rey's ability to compete, both mentally and physically. Tonight's his chance to prove his detractors wrong. There's so much at stake in this match. A WrestleMania title opportunity would mean the world to any one of these competitors.
That's what they're here for, King. To headline on the grandest stage of them all.
He just keeps absorbing damage.
Yet he's refusing to tag. What is he trying to prove? And with that bell, this match is underway. A chance to become the #1 contender hangs in the balance.
This is a huge match for both Mysterio and Edge. Both have been champions before, and both won it back.
And with that bell, this match is underway. A chance to become the #1 contender hangs in the balance.
Mysterio won the Royal Rumble, so he's assured a title opportunity at WrestleMania. But if he can win the championship before that, I'm sure he'll jump at the chance.
With both of these men less than a week removed from the grueling Royal Rumble, fatigue could become a factor.
Both Edge and Mysterio have always found a way to tap into their reserve tanks, though, Michael.
Edge has held the world title on several occasions.
He has what it takes to be a champion, and we've seen that before. But so does Mysterio.
With Rey Mysterio as a late addition by SmackDown's general manager, we have 4 men who want to earn themselves a shot at the World Heavyweight Championship at Elimination Chamber.
The ring is full of extremely talented superstars, but only one will earn a match with CM Punk. I wonder how Rey got himself included in this match, Michael.
I don't know, King, but I hope he doesn't end up regretting his decision. Ladder matches can be grueling. After what happened last week, you can imagine Edge will be looking for revenge tonight.
Edge wouldn't mind getting his hands on Rey and Swagger, but earning the #1 contender spot would be the ultimate payback.
Like him or loathe him, you can't deny Jack Swagger is an incredible athlete.
No, he's a great talent. But what I don't get is why Mysterio puts up with him.
The rivalry between these four men has been building for nearly 2 months.
Tempers have certainly flared over the last few weeks. But let me tell you something. This is the best way to settle an argument.
And with that bell, this match is underway. Rey Mysterio versus the straight edge champion, CM Punk.
Punk's held the World Heavyweight Championship for several months now. Does Mysterio have what it takes to beat the champ?
CM Punk has been on fire, but his recent non-title loss to Evan Bourne may have stalled his momentum.
Momentum is incredibly important, and right now, it's all with Mysterio.
Just 2 days after that grueling #1 contender ladder match, the opportunistic Punk knows that Rey can't be at 100%.
Heck, we can't be sure if Rey is fully recovered from his accident. It was less than 2 months ago.
Rey Mysterio really wants the World Heavyweight Championship, and he's making it known right now.
Since Evan showed him the truth, Mysterio's been able to refocus his attention on becoming the World Heavyweight Champion.
Punk knows just how to pick apart a foe like Rey Mysterio.
Definitely, Michael. But ever the underdog, you can never count out Mysterio.
Rey Mysterio just won the championship 5 days ago, but he's forced to defend it tonight.
CM Punk isn't a guy to make the same mistake twice.
What was supposed to be a tag match has become a handicap match due to injury sustained by Evan Bourne.
I'm not going to make any accusations, Michael, but most of us can guess who did that to Bourne. These two are ruthless.
Both have a lot against Rey Mysterio, and they're making him pay. This match has been the talk of the WWE Universe for weeks now.
I can't believe it's finally happening. And as a ladder match with these three superstars, it could just be a classic.
They haven't gone for a pinfall once here.
I think they're more interested in causing Mysterio to suffer. It's Rob Van Dam. He's come back to team with Rey Mysterio.
These two have held the WWE Tag Team titles before, and they're great friends.
It's great to see the odds evened up in this match.
RVD has looked great at his return to SmackDown. We heard what Edge said to Rey before the start of this match. A world title match at WrestleMania is on the line.
And if I was Rey, after what I've seen tonight, I'd want eyes in the back of my head. Mask, so I could watch out for Jack Swagger.
Earlier tonight, we saw Jack Swagger conduct a merciless assault on the former champion, CM Punk.
Oh, yeah, Swagger's lost it. The guy's completely lost it right now.
These two competitors are both seasoned veterans who've taken part in some of the most memorable matches in WWE history.
This is one heck of a SmackDown main event, Michael, and just 1 week before WrestleMania to boot.
Edge said he was out for revenge tonight, but you can imagine Mysterio will be choosing his moves very carefully.
So close to WrestleMania, the last thing either of these men can afford to do is make a mistake.
Mysterio's unorthodox offense is causing nightmares for Edge.
If Edge wants to be considered a contender to Mysterio's title, this is a must-win for him.
The first superstar to retrieve the WrestleMania contract inside that briefcase will be declared the winner.
All three superstars want to make history, but at what cost?
What an intriguing match. The returning Evan Bourne is taking on newcomer Toto Americano, who appears to be a lucha-style performer. And with us on commentary is a legendary luchador in his own right, Rey Mysterio.
Glad to be here, Michael. Especially since I got a real funny feeling about this Todo Americano guy.
Toto Americano holding his own against Evan Bourne. He's a big guy, isn't he, Ray?
That he is. Looks almost the same exact size as another WWE superstar I know well.
The storm's been brewing for months now, but tonight, Rey Mysterio and Jack Swagger will settle this argument once and for all.
I think Falls Count Anywhere is the right call. There's just too much bad blood in this rivalry.
With Swagger's attitude as of late, I wonder if his hitting Rey's vehicle was really an accident.
Who knows, Michael? But I'm sure that whatever Swagger does to Mysterio tonight will be no accident.
How is Chris Jericho going to come back from that?
He's been in numerous ladder matches. He needs to call on that experience now.
Mysterio has held the championship just over a month now, and each week has offered a more difficult challenge than the last.
True. He's defended against Edge, CM Punk, and, of course, Jack Swagger. Swagger may have one or two more tricks up his sleeve before this is all said and done, Michael. If you think the All-American American is cocky now, can you imagine what he'll be like if he won the World Heavyweight Championship?
He's young, brash, and as we learned over the last month, also cold and calculating. If he wins, I imagine a dark cloud would settle over SmackDown. And with that bell, this match is underway. Rey Mysterio versus the straight-edge champion, CM Punk.
Punk's held the World Heavyweight Championship for several months now. Does Mysterio have what it takes to beat the champ?
CM Punk has been on fire, but his recent non-title loss to Evan Bourne may have stalled his momentum.
Momentum is incredibly important, and right now, it's all with Mysterio.
Just 2 days after that grueling #1 contender ladder match, the opportunistic Punk knows that Rey can't be at 100%.
Heck, we can't be sure if Rey is fully recovered from his accident. It was less than 2 months ago.
Rey Mysterio's taking the fight to CM Punk.
I guess what we saw on SmackDown was just the beginning. This is a new, more vicious Rey Mysterio we're seeing here tonight. The big Russian is rocked.
Time to capitalize. Kozlov doesn't stay dazed for long. CM Punk is aggressively wearing down the challenger.
Punk can't afford to get cocky here. Mysterio's mind has been twisted by swagger, and I think he'll do whatever it takes to win.
As his entrance theme says, he's one of a kind, and Rob Van Dam is back on SmackDown.
I can't believe it, and I'll bet Mysterio can't either. I mean, wow, RVD.
Rey and Swagger have been playing mind games over the past few weeks, but tonight, the joke may be on them.
It's always hard to prepare for a match if you don't know who your opponent is, but when it's a talent like RVD, it's even harder.
Mentally, you have to believe that Van Dam gives Evans' team the advantage.
Definitely, and not just for shock value. RVD knows Rey inside out. These two were WWE Tag Team Champions. When you gel as a unit, you get to know how each other's mind works.
Swagger and Mysterio are quite the odd couple, but it's been working pretty well so far.
But when two people have the same goal in mind, how long can they stay united?
The electric Evan Bourne, one of the best high flyers in WWE, is taking his fair share of punishment in this match.
Evan pulled a trump card on Mysterio, but will he live to regret that? Bourne has shown he can stand toe-to-toe with the larger and stronger Jack Swagger.
Rey Mysterio is out here. If I were Bourne, I'd be looking over my shoulder at times. It's fair to say this one's been a long time coming. Finally, Evan Bourne gets his hands on Rey Mysterio.
These are the two greatest high flyers in all of WWE. It should be great.
Evan Bourne's out for a little payback tonight.
Well, Mysterio is the man who cost him the United States Championship, Michael. I imagine Evan's going to enjoy this.
This is the moment Evan Bourne has waited his entire career for. Main eventing WrestleMania against the man he grew up idolizing, Rey Mysterio, for the World Heavyweight Championship.
This isn't the same Rey Mysterio Bourne watched years ago, Michael. He's a much more dangerous man now. You can tell Evan's been preparing for this match. He's quicker than I've ever seen him before.
He's stepping up to the challenge in the biggest match of his career. We've seen a new side of Rey Mysterio in recent weeks. A callous, unrelenting superstar taking out anything in his path.
And here at WrestleMania, I think we can only expect that dark personality to be magnified tonight.
The challenger is taking it to the champion.
Bourne is showing he's got just as much heart as the World Heavyweight Champion, and that's saying something.
For Bourne, tonight is a lifelong dream.
Well, right now it's a nightmare. The champion is overwhelming his opponent. I can't believe what I'm seeing here.
We knew Jack was going to snap sooner or later, but I can't believe Rey agreed to give him a match now. These two had become thick as thieves, but it's all exploded here.
When a partnership is based on lies, it can only last for so long.
Rey Mysterio's already competed in one title match tonight. How can he possibly win another?
He's got a lot to prove against Swagger. This is personal, Michael.
Swagger taking advantage of this incredible opportunity.
He doesn't care that Rey could be fatigued from his previous match. He just wants to become champion.
Mysterio, with his lone wolf mentality, is a formidable foe.
He only concerned himself with winning, and that's what he's been doing a lot lately.
Can you believe this? Last week we saw a legend, and this week it's a Hall of Famer.
I was just kidding when I mentioned Snuka at the top of the show. Honest. Now, if you'll excuse me, I got to go buy a lottery ticket.
You sure you want to miss the stunning return of the Superfly King?
You're right, Michael. It can wait.
Superfly Jimmy Snuka, throughout his career, always brought tremendous intensity and resiliency to his matches.
And his chops and headbutts were so effective. And I guess from the looks of things, they still are.
Snuka taking a bit of damage here, but King, it could be just a matter of time before Superfly's eyes go wide and momentum shifts toward the Hall of Famer.
Oh, yeah. I loved it when he'd do that. Well, not against me, but it was pretty cool when it happened to somebody else.
Undertaker began his legendary streak back at WrestleMania 7 with a dominating victory over this Hall of Famer, Jimmy Snuka.
You said it. I mean, not to take anything away from Superfly, but Snuka couldn't even knock Undertaker off his feet. That just shows you what a phenom Undertaker is. How great is it to see the Superfly out here again, Michael?
I think the WWE Universe absolutely loves it. But the man he's squaring off against appears to have one thing on his mind: breaking Undertaker's streak. This match has been the talk of the WWE Universe for weeks now.
I can't believe it's finally happening. And as a ladder match with these three superstars, it could just be a classic.
The first superstar to retrieve the WrestleMania contract inside that briefcase will be declared the winner.
All three superstars want to make history, but at what cost?
How is Chris Jericho going to come back from that?
He's been in numerous ladder matches. He needs to call on that experience now. The Big Russian is rocked.
Time to capitalize. Kozlov doesn't stay dazed for long. There's some damage to the game. The only one in this match to have already taken on Undertaker at WrestleMania.
He keeps taking shots like that. He won't get a second chance.
Raw's general manager is trying to get Undertaker's WrestleMania opponent to get into the dead man's head.
If he's not careful, Finley's going to cave his head in with that shillelagh.
Finley likes to fight, and it shows.
With his experience and mean streak, not too many people look forward to squaring off against him.
This is reminiscent of that classic bout Undertaker had against Ric Flair at WrestleMania 18.
Flair held his own, but became yet another victim for the dead man.
I wonder if Stephanie McMahon's pep talk is spurring him on.
Nobody wants the boss mad at him, that's for sure.
This match could have been over by now.
He's going to need this brutality if he wants to take Undertaker's streak. Well, this match certainly tips the scales.
Raw's general manager is trying to get Undertaker's WrestleMania opponent into the dead man's head. We're nearing the end of the allotted 3 minutes. What happens if they go over?
Who knows? I don't think Christian thought that far ahead. The 3 minutes is up.
But this match continues. Who is going to emerge victorious?
What a brawl between these four.
The bad blood between these teams is causing chaos.
Where did Big Show come from?
Apparently, Jericho needed the help after all. I think this was the plan from the start. Where is Edge going?
He's leaving his partner hung out to dry.
It looks like Christian is trying to tag Edge.
Why isn't Edge making the tag? Is there some friction between these two?
Cody and Ted are capitalizing on this numbers advantage.
I still don't get why Edge would just up and leave during the match. There goes one half of truth and consequences.
The great thing about that team, though, is how dangerous each of them can be. Ziggler's distracting the ref. Meanwhile, Christian's opponent has grabbed a chair.
It's about to get extreme in here. Oh, no. It looks like Jericho's just helping himself to the WWE Championship.
Chris Jericho has just stormed down to ringside and taken the WWE Championship from under the game's nose.
And Triple H is so preoccupied with the match, he hasn't even noticed. Jericho is trying to leave with the WWE Championship.
He must be trying to go backstage to make his getaway. The United States champion, Chris Jericho, coming down to ringside to stick his nose into other people's business.
Oh, no. It looks like Jericho's just helping himself to the WWE Championship.
Wait, what the? That's Chris Jericho.
What's he doing out here?
The United States champion, Chris Jericho, coming down to ringside to stick his nose into other people's business.
That slippery Jericho escaped Triple H's grasp.
But I don't think this is done yet. Jericho must be coated in grease the way he keeps getting away.
Triple H needs to stop him before Jericho reaches his getaway car. There's the 3 count. Kofi Kingston has been eliminated. And who's the next opponent? He did it. 2 down, 1 to go. I had a feeling this was going to break down.
So typical of Chris Jericho. He doesn't take people head on. It's always misdirection plays with him.
That microphone shot dazed Triple H, but it won't keep him down.
Why hasn't someone come out here to stop these two?
This situation is bordering on chaos, Michael.
Oh, dear God. And Santino has the ref's attention.
Santino beat Big Show? Unbelievable.
Here comes the largest athlete in the world.
Big Show is likely to go right after Chris Jericho. After all, Jericho cost Show his title shot at Royal Rumble.
The deck is certainly stacked against Chris Jericho. We are down to the final 2 competitors in this match, and somehow, despite starting the match, Chris Jericho is still standing.
It's been an incredible performance so far, Cole. Can he go all the way? The next out is the All-American Jack Swagger.
Swagger is a very dangerous competitor with everything to gain in this match. The final one to emerge is the game. Triple H, he entered the chamber as WWE champion, but it'll be an uphill climb to leave with the title.
Given his hatred of Chris Jericho, I think he'd accept any stipulation to get his hands on him.
Oh man, Big Show taking a measure of revenge.
I think we might be measuring more before this match is done, and we very well could be measuring the end of Jericho's career.
What? It's Big Show. I thought he wasn't cleared to compete.
He may not be cleared to compete, Cole, but he doesn't need clearance to kick Jericho's butt.
Show has revenge on his mind, and it could come in the ultimate form. He could get Jericho fired. Oh, Orton's going to feel that one for a while.
I think that was as much personal as it was trying to earn the victory.
I'm surprised Orton's been tagged into this match.
Are you calling Randy Orton a coward, Michael?
I wouldn't dream of it, King. In come the Divas, and these two have had quite a history as of late.
Marie certainly turns virtue into vice. She's gorgeous, and she knows it.
Orton's wish came through. John Cena has just been driven through a table.
Send in the search parties, Cole. He's buried somewhere in that wreckage.
Ezekiel Jackson has been eliminated after being slammed through that table.
I don't think that was part of Randy Orton's plan.
The Russian Bear just went through that hard wooden table.
Randy couldn't have thought getting rid of Cena and MVP would be an easy task.
MVP has been put through a table. That leaves Cena all by himself.
I'm not sure Cena is up to a task that big, Michael.
Why isn't Randy counting this pin attempt? Why make yourself the ref if you're not going to do a referee's job?
There's no telling what Randy Orton's motivation is for many of his actions, except they are all in the best interests of Randy Orton.
MVP is going for an early pin on John Cena, but Orton isn't even counting it.
Who knows what goes on in the mind of Randy Orton?
John Cena is still in this match. He doesn't have an ounce of quit in him.
I didn't think he was going to get up there, but once again, he proved me wrong.
MVP isn't finished yet. He basically willed himself to get up that time.
It's called pride, Michael. Whether Cena said those things about him or not, MVP wants to prove those words wrong.
Kofi and Cena have run those invaders out of the arena.
You have to admit, Michael, it did add some excitement to the match.
DiBiase and Rhodes are out here. You can't tell me Orton didn't orchestrate this.
It's no disqualification, Michael. It's perfectly legal in this match. Randy Orton could send a herd of elephants down there if he felt like it, and there's nothing anybody could do. Cena could be escaping the cage.
If it wasn't for these Age of Orton rules, the match would be over.
But it's not. And Cena and MVP don't have time to cry about it. Oh, one of the Lumberjacks just chopped down one of Randy's opponents.
His insurance policy is definitely paying off in devastating ways. MVP gets tossed out. He may be headed to WrestleMania, but he's not going in the winner's circle tonight. The gold standard couldn't stand the heat, and he's been eliminated.
Wow, the dead man was odds-on favorite, but he's been tossed. Oh, one of the Lumberjacks just chopped down one of Randy's opponents.
His insurance policy is definitely paying off in devastating ways. Oh, Swagger, attacking Edge. Mysterio's been disqualified.
Mysterio's running buddy, Jack Swagger, just cost his friend the match. What? It's Jack Swagger.
What's he doing out here?
Every time that clock ticks down, you can feel the roof on this place weaken a little.
The fans are on their feet. With just 5 more superstars to go, the stakes are getting higher by the second.
And then there were 2.
Mysterio's won the Royal Rumble before. What a Cinderella story it would be if he could capture it one more time. Mysterio's friend Evan Bourne is out to even the odds.
Bourne isn't the biggest guy in the fight, but he's got plenty of fight in him.
Jack Swagger has injected himself into this match.
It's no disqualification, Michael. That's perfectly legal.
Oh, come on, not again.
Oh, I knew this was too good to be true. Why is Jericho out here? He has no business in this match.
That rat Jericho sticking his nose into this match.
Look at this. Why is he here?
It seems it's time for Jericho's favor to be repaid. This doesn't look good.
And Jericho is tying up the referee's attention.
What, again? How much does Jericho want his accomplice to punish Rey? Who's that up on the ramp? Is he here for a closer view?
He seems dressed to compete to me, Michael. What's he thinking?
Why is he asserting himself into this match?
Why ask why, Michael? He seems to have his reasons.
Another devastating finisher.
He's a man on a mission, Michael. I smell a hat trick. Hang on. What's wrong with him? There it is again. It's like he's losing control. It's like a rhino tagging in an elephant.
And their opponent doesn't have any man or beast for him to tag. He hits another big finisher. He's taking this match to another level. Can HBK recover? HBK right through our table. This match is out of control. Another signature move. He's putting his entire arsenal on display tonight.
There's one of his signature moves, and he picks a great time to pull it out.
The announce table is history. Let's hope the same can't be said for Michaels.
Just be glad that wasn't our table.
I think he's got his fingers on the contract.
There's a big difference between touching it and bringing it down with you.
Jericho may get the contract right here.
He's this close to a shot at immortality.
Kozlov may win the match.
Undertaker versus Kozlov could shake the very foundation of WrestleMania.
I think he's got his fingers on the contract.
There's a big difference between touching it and bringing it down with you.
Jericho may get the contract right here.
He's this close to a shot at immortality.
Kozlov may win the match.
Undertaker versus Kozlov could shake the very foundation of WrestleMania.
The contract is almost in Triple H's grasp.
There's a big difference between touching it and bringing it down with you. I can't believe he's fighting them off, especially after that match he just had.
They just don't stop. And now it looks like they've gotten stronger. Ray, how do you feel about your upcoming WrestleMania match?
I've been waiting a long time to give Swagger what he deserves, Michael. And I'm gonna do it on the grandest stage of them all.
The ref disqualified him, but he's not stopping.
Yeah, I'm not just gonna sit here and watch this.